Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy, Alyx, man, and welcome to your AEW All Elite Wrestling Fyter Fest 2019 review. We got a free 99 showcase tonight, which is June 29th, 2019. AEW said we made you pay $50, not 50, but $50 for the last pay-per-view. We're gonna do you a solid and put this one on the house. So here is a free pay-per-view in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we're calling it Fyter Fest. I think it was at a gaming convention. I have no idea what it's about. I think it's called CEO or something like that, or it's owned by CEO. But it's basically a gamer-based wrestling pay-per-view. We saw a lot of gaming themes. The Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks came out dressed as Street Fighter characters. Akuma for Kenny Omega's, Ryu for Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson's the one with the black hair, right? Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson was Ken. So it was great stuff. All around good things happening for All Elite Wrestling. I think when it comes to this pay-per-view, going into it, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have time to do a preview. I'm not going to make excuses about it. I should have given you one. I just didn't. That won't be happening again. You will get a preview for Fight for the Fallen and then All Out, especially for All Out. For sure for All Out. But I didn't give one to you this time around. Because, quite honestly, if I was to have done a preview, I would have said, yeah, this is one of those shows that they're just kind of doing just to remain in the spotlight. They're just giving you a free show just to let people know, hey, AEW's still around. Didn't really expect much out of this show. I kind of figured we were going to get a solid show, just enough to whet our appetite for All Elite. So, next big pay-per-view, All Out, which was going to be a banger show. That's when they're going to put all their eggs in the basket, and they're gonna have all of the big talent, all of the big matches for that show.
The six-man tag was Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat.
Yes, I feel apparently Pentagon Jr., Seattle Miedo, Phoenix, and who was was it Laredo? I think I said his name right. Laredo Kid, they were dressed as Mortal Kombat characters. Sub-Zero, I think it was Sub-Zero, Ermac, and Scorpion.
Nyla Rose, Nia Jax, hey.
We'll talk about all of this in a second. Thank you, Mr. Kras, for your super chat donations. But like I said, going into it, I didn't expect much from it. I wasn't expecting much from the show. Not saying that's bad or anything. I just thought it was just a show to keep their name in the spotlight. And what I got was something much better. Another great showing. And I think this is very important because what AEW is trying to do, or what they should be trying to do right now, is building trust in their fan base. What that trust entails is that every time you turn on an All Elite Wrestling product, you are going to get a good show. At the end of the day, no matter what they do, no matter what, stuff they have in place, the presentations, the wrestlers they have on their shows, the way the show looks, whatever things they have set up, as long as they deliver a good show, I think that is what's going to carry them forward. That is what's going to get them to a level where they can have a weekly product that draws millions of fans to watch them on TV, thousands to come to their arenas. Making the fans believe that no matter where we are, who we have on the show, and when it is, you are going to get a good show. And tonight, just like their last pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, we got better than that. We got a great show. Some of the matches on this show were better than I thought they would be, which is by far the biggest compliment I can give AEW. Because again, some of these wrestlers, I don't even know some of them. They're fresh out the box wrestlers that I'm kind of just getting to know by watching AEW, or just watching PWG and other wrestling companies. So that's a good thing when I'm able to actually tune into a guy that I've never seen before and come out going, oh yeah, I gotta see more of him or more of her. But regardless, if you like what I have to say as I get into my review and you want more, do yourself a favor. Like the video and subscribe while you're at it. If you want to help expand the brand of your boy, Deluxe Man, you can do a couple of things. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at DeluxeManVX1. You can donate using PayPal, Patreon, or Super Chat, just like Mr. Krabs. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs has been doing. If you want to email me, do so at justalyxsworld@gmail.com. That's justalyxsworld@gmail.com. But most importantly, you can buy yourself a Deluxe Man t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees. So let's go ahead and get to the roll call here. Who is here in the Super Chat? Who is joining your boy Deluxe Man for this? 159. That's a lot. Again, y'all, I didn't expect a big turnout for, well, not just the show itself, but for the review, because it's just one of those shows that I thought they were doing just to keep their name, in the opening. But I was wrong.
Good show, but AEW should focus on just producing good shows rather than take jabs at WWE. TNA made that mistake and look where they end up.
I don't remember too many jabs being taken at WWE tonight, except for Thronebreaker. That's about it. They did a lot at Double or Nothing. They did a couple at Double or Nothing, but tonight I was like, don't remember WWE being mentioned, which is good. So maybe they did, and I don't remember it, because I did write down everything. But regardless, I think the idea going forward is to be able to get through shows without mentioning WWE. But okay, let's get to it. Who's here in the live chat? We got AJ Envoy, Chase5677. We got Adam Ritter, Malik Hiltz, Super Chai, Mr. Sam Peeboon. I don't know why he went to Super Chai. Well, what's up, Sam Peeboon? Avengers fan 167, Pikachu Black. Eden, that's a new one. Hello, Eden. Corey Payne, Undisputed Era. Edwin R. Jerome Ford. We got the moderators in the house. Ultra Shao 97 and Elias Ademi. Xavier Go on. I'm gonna go with go on. Okay. Oh, here they come. Gerbert Green, Kenny Porter, hashtag Team Sharp, Everyday Jam, Mr. J Knox, who made the cover, who is known for making some amazing covers on this channel. Give him a follow on Twitter at It's J Knox. By the way, I think it's here on the cover, actually. Yes, it is. It's J Knox. Give him a follow. HS. What's up, HS? King Larry the First. Gaming with JT. DeAndre Kidd. The Black Nostalgia Nerd. Jordan Williams. Eric Gonzalez. Michael Miner. Arthur. DJ Pooh 21. 813 South. Joseph Winters. Money Game Benji. Let's do one more. Who's it going to be? Austin Fan 25. And Jeremy Brown. Okay. If I didn't say your name, it's not because I hate you. We got some stuff to talk about. So, if you want to help get me to 30,000 subscribers, hit that subscribe button. And maybe one day we can jump from 30,000 to 100,000 and then a million. And so your boy Deluxe Man voice can be heard by the masses. So let's get there. Like the video. Get this video out there. Let's get as many views as we can. And with that said, let's get into the buy-in or the pre-show. I don't know why it's called the buy-in this time, because I thought buy-in worked for the casino themed pay-per-view. But they're calling it the buy-in now. So, alright. I get it, because you're buying in to buy the pay-per-view, but this was free. That's what bothered me about it. I'm like, I get it why it's called the buy-in, because you watch the pre-show to get invested to the pay-per-view, so you would buy in. But this was free. So I was kind of like, why is it called buy-in? Nitpicking. Really small nitpick. It matters not. Getting into the pre-show, we have, well, the first one was a triple threat tag match where the winner will get a first round, well, Wrong. Will get an opportunity for a first round bye at the WWE. Oh my goodness. Throw that away. Stomp on it. Try that again. Triple threat tag match where the winner advances to All Out for a first round bye, an opportunity at a first round bye in the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament that starts, I believe, when the show begins the weekly broadcast in October. There you go. That's a lot better than what I was getting ready to say. The following teams participated in the match. We got Best Friends. That's Chucky T and Trent Beretta taking on SCU, Scorpio Sky and Kazarian, and then Private Party. This is my first time actually seeing Private Party as a tag team. I remember them in the Casino Battle Royal at the last pay-per-view. This is the first time I'm seeing them as a tag team, and I gotta say, they were very impressive. I don't remember their names. I just know them as a tag team, but I'll get to that later as I, continue to watch them. I thought they were the highlight of the match. Fantastic stuff. Not saying the Best Friends or SCU weren't great. Everybody was good. I thought it was a fun match to kick things off. I thought the crowd was into it. We got some AEW chant, so it was hot. It was a hot match to kick things off. I thought it was a strong opener. Well, it wasn't an opener, but in terms of the show, yeah, it was pretty good to get the crowd hot for the rest of the show. The winners were the Best Friends. And that's one of those things where I go, and I like Trent Beretta and Chucky T, and I get the gimmick. They're best friends. And it's supposed to be one of those wrestling fan nerdasm kind of tag teams where it's just like, they're best friends, hug. Brotherly love. My thing is, if we're going to present this to an audience, a fresh audience that has never watched wrestling before, we need a story.
MJF is a future champ in the making.
Oh, we'll talk about Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman later. We got a lot to get to before we get to him, though. But definite future main eventer, if you want to get my preliminary thoughts. But as I was saying, when it comes to the Best Friends, if we're going to present these guys to an audience that has never seen wrestling before, we need some backstage vignettes. So that's my only issue with this tag team. Everybody else, Private Party, SCU, I kind of already get what's going on. Just by their promos, just by their names. With Best Friends, we kind of need a little bit more than just best friends. Because it's like, okay, they love each other, well, like brothers. But why? Let's get some vignettes. Even if it's just like 5 seconds. I know why.
See, we may not know all the AEW stars, but they can still put on one hell of a show and impress all viewers. They made every match matter. Vince, take notes. Quit member burying, make new memories.
Tell him, Eddie. Thank you for the donation, buddy. But I want them to develop the relationships with the wrestlers and the fans. Help them understand, okay, why are they called best friends? Besides them being the best friends. We already know they must be cool with each other, but what's the story behind them? And I think when you do that, it just makes these matches even more better for new audience members coming in. So, I really enjoyed this match. I didn't enjoy the next match on the pre-show. I just didn't. And I just gotta be honest with you. I appreciate what they're trying to do with this Librarian gimmick. It's something new. It's never been seen before. They're just trying it out. And I can respect them at least having the balls to put themselves out there and, succeed or fail. And I think you should keep doing that. Because eventually you'll hit a home run. This is not a home run. This Librarian gimmick with Is it Kathy Bates? It's not Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates. No! Leva Bates, the former Blue Pants of NXT. And then Pete Avion. Is it Avalon or Avion? I think Avalon. Peter Avalon. Okay. They're both librarians. That's their gimmick. Anytime you're talking, they go, shh. You're in a library. Shh. And I first saw it at Double or Nothing, and I went, I don't know about this gimmick. Maybe it'll grow on me as time goes by, even with me seeing them on Being the Elite. It's just cringy. I don't like it. I don't get it, first off. Like, why? Like, why are librarians wrestling? Like, if you think about it too much, it doesn't make any sense. And I don't get it. I don't really get it. Oh, shh. You're too loud. This arena is too loud. Shh. I mean, I can somewhat see how that could work to get some heat. But eventually, like, I don't know. It just clashes with everything when it comes to wrestling. And I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think it's time we drop the gimmick. Do something else. Keep the talent. Leva Bates. I think it's Leva Bates. Mrs. Bates is great. When I saw her at NXT as Blue Pants, fell in love with her. I have not seen Peter Avalon. Now, I'm saying his name right. I haven't seen him wrestle. Hopefully he's good too. Give him something else to work with, because this isn't working. It's weird too because it was advertised to be Leva Bates versus Kylie Ray, and Kylie Ray wasn't there tonight. Instead, we got Allin. Now, I don't know if that was a mistake on my part. Maybe it was advertised as Allin. But even when I read it on, CBS Sports, it said Kylie Ray. So maybe that was just a last-minute switch. Doesn't matter. The match wasn't good. I'm sorry. I don't really believe what they're doing with Leva Bates is really going to be good for any kind of television. I just think anybody involved, even with Allin. I don't hate Allin. I don't remember too many great matches coming from Allin. But with the right person, she could have a pretty solid, at least a solid match. Maybe even a good match. But when Allin gets an opponent like this, you don't really get a chance to see her come out and look strong. So, yeah, I thought this was easily the weakest match of the night. I didn't like it. Allin wins. I guess that's a good thing, but man, it dragged. It wasn't a good match. So, yeah, moving on to the next match, which was... Okay. Michael Nakazawa. My name is Michael Nakazawa. Taking on... I want to get this right. The CEO, Alyx Jabailey, is he like the owner of the gaming convention that they're at? I'm assuming he's not a wrestler. I think he's just, being one of those, dare I say, McMahon type performers. Someone who's a boss coming in, who's a non-performer trying to be a wrestler. I don't know. It was... I don't know. It was... I can respect Mr. Jabailey for, showing respect to what was happening. I just kind of feel like there were moments where it was kind of silly that I actually enjoyed. I like seeing Michael Nakazawa douse himself in, oil? I don't even know what he has. It was like either lotion or oil. And he would be slithering through wrestling holds. And then he would put it on the mat and he would slip and fall into a senton. Like, that's funny. Like, I actually like that. And then there were parts where, they would go to the outside. It would get slammed in the pool. I was just like, okay, that's ridiculous. And then there were other parts where I'm just like, okay. They had these rubber floaties that were in the pool, And then Michael Nakazawa was using it to hit Alex Jabailey, and he was actually selling it like it hurt. And I'm just like, no. No. No, that's not going to work for me. Those are those moments where I go, that doesn't hurt at all. But why are we selling it like it hurts? Guys, come on. Really? Like, okay. And then there were other parts where, because he's now a wrestler, I just thought Alyx looked clunky. Mr. Jabailey looked very clunky, and he's clearly not experienced. So, at least Nakazawa won the match. And there were some instances where it was funny and it was entertaining. Not a match I would go back and watch. So I'll be nice and say decent. There were enough things in there to warrant me liking it. But going back and watching it, I'm good. That's just me. Alright, so comedy match. Call it like it is. Did its thing. Some people liked it, some people hated it. It is what it is. Moving on to the main show. We kick things off with the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, taking on CIMA from, was it OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment? The wrestling company from China. Yeah, OWE. I said it right. Good match. I think CIMA was in that 6-man tag that opened Double or Nothing. I'm going to assume he was. Christopher Daniels, as old as he is, and, you know, I know a lot of people hate when I bring up age. Like, it shouldn't matter if you're still good. Yeah, I get that. But understand something. As you get older, your body starts to break down. Meaning it's harder to maintain the things that you used to do. Like walking and lifting things and even standing up. Your body goes through wear and tear, ladies and gentlemen. And when you get to a certain age, you start to feel it. Especially as wrestlers, when you're putting your body through pain 24/7. So I bring up age for a reason. Christopher Daniels, who is what, 48? Let me find out before I just guess. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. How old is Christopher Daniels? 49. He's about to be 50, y'all. He just turned 49. So he was 48. He turned 49, though. So, guy in his 49 years old, in his 40s, late 40s, about to be 50. The guy is still having some of the best matches of his career. Like, it's incredible. I think he's a gem. He is a priceless gem that should get all the respect that he deserves. And the only regret that kind of a regret, but not really a regret, that I do wish that Christopher Daniels had an opportunity to do was wrestle in WWE. Everyone, once. NXT, at least. To be there with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, because I think he would have done pretty well for himself. But it is what it is. He did well in this match against CIMA. Good match, and he won, as he should have. Actually, no, I take that back. CIMA won, right? Yes, okay, I'm sorry. Let me change that mistake. CIMA. I don't know why I said Christopher Daniels won. CIMA won. And I think that's even better. I think we want to put over the OWE promotion, because if they keep losing their matches, they don't look so good. So you want to make them look strong here. So CIMA ends up winning his match against Christopher Daniels. And there you go. And one thing about AEW that I do appreciate, they're always mentioning wins and losses matter here. And wins are being tracked. I think that's good. I think, when you have Excalibur, Jim Ross, and who was the other one? Golden Boy? I think it was Golden Boy. Let me see.
AEW knows how to use veterans better than WWE.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it was Golden Boy. By the way, pause for a second. Love commentary tonight. I thought Jim Ross was better. You think he was in AEW's Double or Nothing? Excalibur is awesome. Excalibur clearly is the one carrying the team. Jim Ross is getting better each and every time because he's still trying to get used to what AEW is and the product in this type of wrestling. And it's taking him a while to get there, but he's going to get there. I like Golden Boy a lot better than the last guy they had on the commentary desk. Golden Boy actually is a good commentator. So I think this team, this is good. Keep this team. If you can afford Golden Boy, I say keep him. I think he would be great working alongside Jim Ross and Excalibur. But, just wanted to point that out. But the whole thing about them pointing out wins and losses is this whole thing of them keeping track of the wins. I would love to see a ranking system. I keep bringing this up with WWE, and I don't think they care enough about wins and losses to even do this, but what AEW should think about doing is eventually start some kind of a ranking system where if you win a certain match, you get a certain amount of points, or you get something. But in my opinion, it should be points. If you win by pinfall, you get 3 points. If you win by submission, you get 5 points. You want to win matches more by submission, because then you get, you rank up points more. If you lose a match, let's just say you lose a match regularly, pinfall or submission, you lose 3 points. You lose a certain amount of points. So you go down, as you should. If you lose by disqualification, that should drop you 5 points. Like, if you win by disqualification, that should get you, like, maybe minor points, because that's not really a win. Like 1. That's what I think. You should get 1 point if you win by disqualification. But if you lose by disqualification, you should definitely lose about 5 points. There should be consequences to these actions. That can create a lot of stories. And then if you get a certain amount of points, you cash in those points. Or, cash in the points. But you can, use that ranking to go for a championship title. That's how you gain the points. Other than, winning championship contender matches. But you get points, you get to a certain level or a certain amount, and then you go, I want a title shot. I think that's how it should be. Just something to think about. But getting back to the rest of the show. The second match of the night, I believe, was the women's match. Right? Yes, it was. We had Rio, taking on Yuka Sakazaki. I think I said her name right. Yuka Sakazaki. And then my girl, Nyla Rose. Someone already said it in the super chat. I will repeat him. Nyla Rose is everything WWE wants Nia Jax to be. Everything she wants her to be. And she will never, ever be. Nia Jax, Nia Jax, Nia Jax. Bleh! Doesn't even come close to sniffing the straps, the jock strap of Nyla Rose. She's not even worthy of packing her suitcase. I'm telling you right now, Nyla Jax I don't even know if I can make a comparison, because she is that irrelevant to Nyla Rose. Because if Nyla Rose is a statue, is a skyscraper, Nia Jax is an ant. Doesn't even come close. Not in the same universe. But yeah, Nyla Rose is a beast. She is phenomenal. I thought this was more of a showcase for her than the match at Double or Nothing. But then again, Double or Nothing had Awesome Kong. So it was kind of hard for her to be showcased. When Awesome Kong entered that ring, that's all that mattered, really. But it's just her now. And I thought this was a great showcase of Nyla Rose. Showed her arrogance. It showed her, her strength. Which is, again, the Paul Heyman philosophy. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. We got a lot of positives with Nyla Rose here. And my favorite spot was when the Japanese girls, Yuka and Rio, both jumped off the top rope with crossbodies. They did one by one. First it was Yuka. I think it was either Yuka or Rio. One of them jumped out first. Nyla catches one of them. And then the other one tries to do the exact same thing. Jump off the top rope. Nyla catches that one. She catches both of them at the exact same time. And I'm just like, that's incredible. This woman is insane.
Nyla Rose greater than Nia Jax. Hey, Nia Jax. Hey, Nia Jax. Hey.
For real, for real. And I just kind of feel like when you have someone like that, a monster like that, I almost feel like you gotta send her on a streak eventually. But I get what they're doing right now. They're using the fact that she's arrogant, that she's cocky, to give an excuse for her losing. Because there was a point in this match she should have won. I think it was when she, I'm trying to remember what move it was. It was the move she did before the Swanton. I remember it. She had one of them suplex on top of the ropes. So she was hanging over the ropes. She went to the top rope and did like a guillotine knee drop across her neck. It was sick. That should have been it, but she was all like, nah, I'ma hurt her some more. So she's her own worst enemy, and that's the story. That's okay for now, but eventually she should get above that. She should get out of that and become a dominant force. Because I think the idea, if I was AEW, the idea would be to eventually make her the AEW Women's Champion. Although I kind of feel like the first one, and I thought it was going to be Britt Baker, but the way things are shaping up, I think it's going to be Brandy Rhodes. Which, that's one of those things where it's like, of course, the owners would put the championships on themselves. We'll see, but I thought Nyla looked great in this match, but she didn't win the match. Rhea won. Rhea gets the victory with the sneak up pinfall on Nyla Rose, who was cocky. Nyla attacked her, not Nia. Nyla attacked her. They're too similar. Attacked Rhea after the match, and then Yuka made the save. But when Yuka made the save, Rhea just kind of pushed her away like, I don't need your help. You don't know my life. You don't know my life. Leave me alone. So, look, I thought all three looked great. I thought it was a great match. I think Yuko, a combination, fusion, no, Yuko, not, god dang, I did it again. Yuka was adorable. Magical girl, like the anime magical girl. I thought she was great. And then Ryo is just your typical Japanese badass, so I enjoyed the match. Just like I enjoyed the next match. Fatal 4-way. We got Jimmy Havoc taking on Jungle Boy, taking on Hangman Adam Page, one half of the main event at AE Double or Nothing, AE All Out, coming in August. Yes, August. And then, of course, the man of the hour, MJF, a.k.a. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. In my opinion, one of, if not the top heels in wrestling. He is amazing. He is a godsend on the microphone. And I love him personally because he has a tendency to throw out 90s quips. If you watch one of those 90s cartoons, whether it's Spider-Man or X-Men or Ninja Turtles, those little childish quips like, nerd, yeah, all that kind of stuff. It kind of reminds me of that. It's witty, it's charming, but it's one of those things that does kind of get under your skin. And he got under their skin. He is a really good asshole. He really is. And I think when you have a guy like that, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to see him as a main event player. Matter of fact, I feel like him and Adam Page should eventually get to the main event scene. If you're asking me right now when they'll be in the main event scene, personally, I think they're already main eventers. I think when you talk about showcasing AEW to a wide audience, these two have to be at the forefront. Hangman Adam Page and MJF, you would think they would be in the forefront. Especially MJF. But it's okay to have them work with other talent here and there, just to compare the other talent to their level. I thought Jungle Boy was great. I admittedly thought Jimmy Havoc was Jimmy Jacobs. It's not the same person. It's not. But regardless, I thought it was a good match. Good showcase of everybody, especially Jungle Boy, who had Luchasaurus out there. That was really cool. But of course, this was just a match to give Hangman Page some momentum for his eventual championship match against Chris Jericho at All Out. And I think next month for Fight for the Fallen, he'll be fighting Kip Sabian. So that will also most likely be a victory for Adam Page, as it should be. If I'm gonna buy Adam Page as a main event player, as a world champion, he's gotta win matches. So his next match against Kip Sabian should also be a victory. Let's see here. I think we can go into... Okay, someone's telling me to look at Sasha Banks' Twitter page. Okay, let me do that real quick. Apparently it's something crazy. Alright, let me look at Sasha Banks real quick. Let me see what Sasha's doing. Does that have something to do with AEW? Is Sasha Banks making people go crazy again by tweeting about AEW? Let me see. Tweet. Let me see. Okay, there it is. At Sasha Banks WWE. Phone's going a little slow. Going very slow. Okay, so what did she tweet out? I don't get it. I don't see it. Now, unless she deleted it, I don't see it. I'm literally looking at her Twitter account. Did she tweet out a picture of AEW and then got deleted? Because I don't see it now. Yeah, I don't see it. Because people are saying she tweeted out AEW. Well, regardless, I'm pretty sure she did that just to screw with WWE. Because she wants to leave. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the next match. Cody with Brandy Rhodes. We can't say Cody Rhodes. We have to say Cody with Brandy Rhodes. That was a nice little way to get around it with Justin Roberts, who also did a great job tonight. He took on Darby Allin. Or is it Derby? I think it's Darby. I think I say it right. Darby Allin. First time seeing Darby Allin, and I thought he impressed. I thought Darby Allin really stuck out in terms of his character, his story. I was baffled with how dark his character is. Said was his uncle? Some relative of his died when he was 5. It was really close to him. And he carries around the body bag of that person who died to make him feel safe, to make him feel human. That's the only thing that's keeping his humanity intact, because he's just a broken heap of mess with scars. He has a face paint. Half of his face is face painted, and he just likes. Apparently, they say he likes pain. He likes to hurt himself. He's just a dark, sick individual, And I want to see where that goes. What do you do with a character like that? What does a character like that do? And what I love about this match, Cody was dominant. Clearly, he was going to be, because Darby, I'm going to go with Darby, was, in comparison, small in stature. He looked like a cruiserweight compared to Cody. And Cody was definitely the aggressor, basically dominated the hell out of Darby, and Darby sold everything. He bumped his ass off for Cody, and he just kept fighting back and fighting back, coming back for more, and coming back for more, and coming back for more. And then there was a spot where he did like this, what do you call that, the coffin drop senton? It was something called the coffin drop senton, where he goes off the top rope and then falls on you back first. Cody was on the apron when he went for it. He goes off the top rope to fall backwards on top of Cody, but Cody moves off the apron, and then Darby went splat, sickeningly, on the apron, back first. I'm shocked his spine didn't crack in half. I don't understand how these wrestlers are able to even move after spots like that. I don't get it. We're told every day that the edge of the ring is the hardest part of the ring, and he just took one of the sickest bumps you could take on that side of the ring. It's crazy. Not crazy, but crazy. But Cody couldn't pin him. Cody Rhodes could not pin Darby. I think there was a spot in the match where Cody stuck Darby in that bag, that little the little bag that he has that apparently held his uncle or relative in, body bag, and he gave him one of those disaster kicks and tried to pin him in the body bag, but the referee wouldn't count because I don't know if his shoulders are down, so he pulled him out of the body bag after putting him in it. I was like, okay. And then, no matter what, he couldn't pin Darby. Darby would not be down. Darby would not stay down. He just kept getting back up and getting back up and getting back up. And I'm like, okay, that's a good way to showcase who he is. It was a character match. And a lot of people didn't like that it went to a time limit draw. I thought it was a great use of it, because that's how you tell the story that this guy is hard to beat. And Cody threw everything at him. He used his belt. He used crossroads. He used everything. He could not pin Darby. So now, when he does get pinned, when Darby does get pinned, it's a big deal. Because that is what it's all about. Making them look strong. I'm reminded of Shawn Michaels during his Survivor Series 2003 performance, where I think it was 1 against 4, and he survived 3 people, and he just would not die. Shawn would not die. He was bloody. He was a mess. He would not die. He would not die. He would not die. It took Batista coming in to help finally put down Shawn Michaels. It was a hell of a performance. And that's what, it's not up to that level, but that's kind of what Darby reminded me of. Like, oh, shoot. Reminds me of the time when Shawn Michaels, just wouldn't die. You know what I mean? He just wouldn't die. But he's gonna be a big name. I see AEW making him into something. So, the match was great. However, people aren't talking about the match. And this is where your boy Deluxe Man's going to have to tell you guys something, give you a disclaimer. Because I had a debate about this on Twitter. And I know what I am about to say is going to piss some of you off and you might unsubscribe. So, I want you to know this. If you don't like what I say going forward, I completely understand. But this is what I believe. So let's set this up. After the match was over with, Cody is standing in the ring. The referee and the crowd are just like, we could restart the match. It's a time limit draw. Why not? You're the boss, Cody. And Cody's like, yeah, restart the match. But before the match can be restarted, out comes Shawn Spears, a.k.a. Ty Dillinger, a.k.a. Perfect 10. He has a steel chair. Cody turns around. Shawn Spears grabs the steel chair, and it wasn't one of the rubber, padded, safe steel chairs from WWE. It was a steel freaking chair. Cody turns around, and Shawn Spears dents the steel chair over Cody's head, and Cody didn't even hold his hand up. He took the full brunt of that steel chair, and it looked uncomfortably sick. He hit the mat, blood is pouring, and I mean pouring out of his head. And you could see making a puddle under his head. Everybody was like, oh my God. He took an unprotected steel chair shot to the head. When was the last time we saw that? A long ass time ago. We don't see a lot of that nowadays, even in the companies that allow that. Cody took it straight to the head. And everybody was, like, oh my God. Like, holy crap, man. Wrestlers are coming out. Shawn, what the hell? Why would you do that? Shawn Spears walked away, and everybody was feeling sorry for Cody. Like, God damn, Cody, are you okay? And the natural reaction is, please don't get a concussion. We all are still, and it's been a long time since it, but we're all still trying to recover over what happened with Chris Benoit. And all this talk about concussions, not just in wrestling, but also in sports. And also the stuff with Daniel Bryan and him basically having to lose 3 years off of his career, basically almost having to retire. But concussions are no joke. So this is where I'm going to say something that you're not going to like. And I got to say it. We talk about wrestling being a violent sport. We talk about wrestling feeling like it has to have blood. It has to be one of those things where it's not for everybody. Not everybody is meant to be a wrestler. We talk about WWE being a little too friendly, being a little too light, being a little too safe. And one of the biggest complaints, and I'm still hearing to this day, one of the biggest complaints that fans have against WWE is that it's PG. It's PG. It's PG. There's no blood. It's too safe. It doesn't feel like this is the most dangerous sport in the world, when wrestling really kind of, in my opinion, is. It could, in fact, be at least some of the top most dangerous sports in the world. When you look at this match and you see what happened to Cody, you know damn well this was set up. You know damn well before this happened, Shawn Spears and Cody Rhodes had a discussion backstage to set up an angle. And Cody told Shawn, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. I want you to wallop me to sell this angle. This wasn't done without consent. Shawn went out there and cracked Cody on top of his head to sell the match. Because you already know, based off of that, we're going to have a match at All Out. Shawn Spears versus Cody Rhodes, which honestly sounds amazing. And the story behind that is, if you don't know why he did this, when Shawn Spears got signed to AEW, Cody made the statement that Shawn is a good hand. He is not a main event player. He's a good utility player, but he's not a main eventer. That's why Shawn Spears hit Cody over the head with a chair, which sets up their match at All Out. So Shawn can prove that he is a main event player. This is what it takes, guys. I'm sorry. I get that you're worried that the wrestlers will take it too far. But if you want something other than PG WWE, this is it. This is what you wanted. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you guys don't like me saying that, and I'm pretty sure that's not the PC thing to say. But this is what TV-14 wrestling is. Wrestling is not ballet, guys. The moves they do inside the ring, the suplexes, the pile drivers, all that stuff, it hurts. It's dangerous. Chair shots to the head, unprotected chair shots or protected chair shots, that's been a thing since the 80s. It's been in wrestling for decades, guys. I'm not making an excuse, or I'm not trying to make an excuse or nothing. And I'll be honest with you, man. I don't really feel like it's something to lose my minds over. And some of you are saying, well, you're saying that now. What if Cody got a concussion? He didn't get a concussion. Cody doesn't have a concussion right now. He has staples in the back of his head. But you know what happened with Cody? Got the staples, went back to work to agent the main event, to oversee his show. He's a professional. These are professional wrestlers. You want them to have freedom. You want them to have the ability to tell stories their way, to be hardcore, to be violent, to break out of the barriers of PG. This is what it entails. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. You can't have it both ways, ladies and gentlemen. I know some of you want these wrestlers to have the most safest careers in the world where they don't get hurt. I'm sorry. This is just how it is. If you want wrestling to be free, if you want it to feel spontaneous, and you want them to create the kind of violence and get the kind of... I'm trying to find my words.
I'll have to respectfully disagree with you. Those chair shots are way too dangerous, and when it comes to your violence argument, the main event was extremely violent and it didn't have those shots.
See, that's where I disagree with you, Mr. Green. The main event was violent, not extremely violent. We'll get to that in just a second. It could have been a lot more violent than what we saw. It was violent. Trust me, thumbtack spots were crazy. But I've seen those two in a lot more violent matches. But I get what you're saying. Concussions. You're scared that these guys can, possibly get concussions and then the careers will be over because damage to the brain and stuff like that. It's dangerous. I understand that. But so is everything else. Everything else is dangerous. Okay? We personally, again, we're going to disagree on this. And like I said, if you don't like what I'm saying, I get it. You are free to go find someone else that has a different perspective. Violence is just a part of the wrestling business, man. Cody, Cody took that spot to sell his match. So, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you that shouldn't happen anymore. Matter of fact, if they want to do more of that, be careful, but all power to you. That is how far they are willing to go to create stories for you, to sell matches for you. And I miss that. That kind of dedication to the business, we don't see a lot anymore. The fact that Cody was willing to take that chair shot to sell the match with him and Shawn Spears. First off, lets me wonder, what kind of matches are they gonna have? But it's gonna be a personal grudge match. Simple as that. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to wonder. I'm trying to figure out for myself, what is it? What is it that's gonna be okay when it comes to chair shots? Like, guys, the moment AEW starts outlawing chair shots to the head, we're no different than WWE. I can't have it. I can't advocate for it. The moment they say no more chair shots to the head, that's when they start turning into WWE, and that's when we don't have an alternative. I understand what you guys are afraid of. But we want an alternative to WWE, right? Well, we gotta have chair shots to the head. We gotta have pile drivers. We gotta have all this kind of stuff. Unprotected chair shots could be limited. You can talk about limiting that. Maybe put your hand up. Make it look like you got hit in the head. Maybe protect yourself a little bit. Okay. But I'm sorry. I want an alternative from WWE. This is it. I want a TV-14 spontaneous product where anything can happen when it comes to blood and violence. This is it. This is it. So, disagree, agree. We'll find out, man. I'm sorry. I'm probably pissing a lot of people off, and that's okay. But that's just how I feel. Moving on to the next match, which I think was the 6-man tag. AEW has better 6-man tags than WWE. I'm actually excited about their 6-man tags. This one I was really excited about. We had the Lucha Bros, that's Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, with Laredo Kid, taking on the Elite, the Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. It was Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. I think it was the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid were dressed up as Mortal Kombat ninjas. And, Lin Kuei Warriors. My bad. And then Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were dressed up as Street Fighter. So, it was Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. Fantastic match. It was everything you could want in a match like that. Crazy high-flying spots, innovative moves, fast-paced action, hard-hitting, back and forth, fast-paced. It was fun. It was out of this world crazy. It was everything you could want. Favorite spot of the match was the Hadouken spot. I literally lost it when they did a Hadouken spot. I just thought that was hilarious. I laughed hard. There were a couple of moments during this show where I laughed extremely loud and extremely hard. One of them was that Hadouken spot. I don't know what it was, but there's something about the way they sold it, where they're just, running, and then they just fall. Like, they just hit the mat hard. Hadouken! And he used to do it back in the day when he was younger, the Hadouken spot. But, man, I just thought it was hilarious. the way he did it tonight. The Elite won when Kenny Omega pinned, I think, Laredo Kid, which is how it should have happened. After the match, Kenny Omega got in the face of Pentagon Jr., and Pentagon told him, I want a rematch. I still want to fight you in the future. Sounds good. So the crowd was hot for it. Pentagon Jr. was over like anybody would think he'd be over with. Sierra Miedo, freaking awesome. But, you know, I think everybody was really excited about the main event, which was the unsanctioned, hardcore, no-holds-barred match between Jon Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, taking on Joey Janela. It was the battle of the King of Death Matches. So both of them have been known for their Death Matches performances. When Jon Moxley went to WWE and became Dean Ambrose, Joey Janela stepped in as the King of the Death Match. So now it's like Battle of the Kings in Death Matches. Like I said before, the match was violent. There was a lot of thumbtacks used. There was a lot of barbed wire involved. Barbed wire chairs and barbed wire tables. There was blood. It was violent. They beat the piss out of each other. And I think ultimately, the message that Dean Ambrose, I gotta stop calling him that, Jon Moxley is not the Dean Ambrose from WWE. I think at this point, if you see him in New Japan Pro Wrestling or you've seen him here, you know, okay, it's a completely different animal now. He got a lot of, you sick fuck, you sick fuck, you sick fuck. You know, he got those chants, which was great. I think if he's getting those chances, that means, in my opinion, that is a good sign that he's no longer the PG Ambrose. He's now Jon Moxley again. And the crazy thing about this match, as violent as it was, I thought he could have been more violent. I was sitting there waiting for Joey to pull out light tubes, because I'm thinking, all right, so Ambrose is going to be old school. He's going to be getting out the chairs, the barbed wire, and the thumbtacks. And I'm thinking Joey's going to be the new school King of the Death Matches with the light tubes and the glass. And that's why I'm thinking, okay, new school versus old school. We didn't get any new school stuff. We didn't get the light tubes. We didn't get the fire. We didn't get all of that. It was just basically old school death match, which was awesome. It was brutal. But again, it could have been a lot more violent. And I know some of you saying, Deluxe, man, Joey Janela had his foot jammed in thumbtacks. Yes, Joey Janela's foot got jammed with thumbtacks. And they closed in on his foot, and you just see the thumbtacks just hanging and bent and lodged into his foot. I'm like, it was nasty. And, you know, they were falling on actual barbed wire. By the way, the barbed wire tables were not fake. They were legit barbed wire tables. And when they were caught in them, it would be peeling off their pants and skin. It was, so it was brutal. It was brutal. And then Dean Ambrose, God, keeps calling him Dean Ambrose. Jon Moxley, there we go. Jon Moxley wins with a, I think it was an elevated, I don't even know what it's called. I think he calls it the, not Death Rider. Death Rider? Something Rider. Or is it called Paradigm Shift? No, it's called the Death Rider in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think here it's called Paradigm Shift. Yeah, Paradigm Shift. But it's an elevated double arm DDT. He did that into the thumbtacks. Yo! And he got the victory that way. What a way for Jon Moxley to debut as his new violent character. Like, already, he is probably one of the highest acts in wrestling. And he's only been out of WWE not even a month. Like, a little bit over a month he's been out. And he's already the highest act in wrestling. One of the highest acts. That's incredible. I feel like Jon is more over. Compared to WWE, he's more over than Becky. Yeah. I think Jon Moxley might be a little bit more over than Becky at this point. I think he might be more hotter than Becky. And Becky's cooled off a lot. Just saying. Because there's nothing going on with Becky right now. But that's cool. At the end of the match, we see Kenny Omega come out and attack Jon Moxley, getting some noteworthy revenge. Double stomping him under some tables, punishing him for his attack on Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. After the show, when Kenny Omega leaves, we see Jon Moxley laughing. Now, I accidentally called him Jox Moxley in my script here, so let me change that. Jon Moxley. I gotta change that for the description box as well. We'll do that in just a second. But we see Jon Moxley smiling at the end of the show because he loves the pain. And just like that, I told myself, that is how you sell a future pay-per-view. I want to buy All Out right now just to see Omega and Jon Moxley get it on. I know those two are going to have an awfully brutal, awfully violent, no holds barred match, hardcore match. That, I think, is going to be a lot more violent than this one. I think, again, this show, Fyter Fest, was just a show to keep AEW in the spotlight. It was not supposed to be a show to, oh my God, AEW is the greatest company in the world. Not yet. That's coming. Because they're saving all the good stuff for All Out. I think the match with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega at All Out, that's going to be very, very violent. That was going to be like scary violent. And I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that match. But I want to buy it just for that. I'm already salivating for the show for that match alone. Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. And then we got Cody Rhodes taking on Shawn Spears. That's making things interesting. The tag team division shaping up very well. We have a women's division shaping up pretty well. The card is shaping up. We got the main event, Chris Jericho versus Adam Hangman Page for the World Championship. Guys, I'm excited. I really do think overall tonight was a great show, and AEW is just on the right track of becoming the number 2, if not already the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world. And maybe one day we'll be number 1. It just has to continue doing the right thing, which is building the trust with the audience. It has to continue having great shows. It has to continue making the fans go, okay, this is the alternative to WWE that I want. And I know a lot of you will just golf or just completely just write them off because they had a man take an unprotected steel chair shot to the head tonight. And I'm just telling you right now, okay, you can complain about that all you want, and I understand why you complain about that, but understand this. The moment they outlawed chair shots to the head, they stopped being the alternative. They stopped being the kind of company we need to keep the business running. I'm sorry. You know what? No, I'm done saying I'm sorry. Like, you said you want something outside of WWE that's not PG. This is it.
AEW has to not book the Elite and Cody to see what they really have. Especially when they start TV. Some match should be a cage match at All Out. 7/10.
So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you for catching my review. For the most part, I think AEW is on the right track. And again, this was a free show. This was one of their, I dare say, B pay-per-views. And it was still great. I want to see Fight for the Fallen. I want to see what they have for me at Fight for the Fallen. So there you guys go. That's my review. No match of the year candidate for this show. Just outstanding matches and good matches. That's it. And that's all I want. I don't care if you have a match of the year candidate. You don't have to have a match of the year candidate on every show. Just give me a good show. And I got a great show. And I can't wait for a Fight for the Fallen, and I especially can't wait for All Out in August. So give me your thoughts on Fyter Fest down below in the comments, not the description. You can't write in the description. In the comments, what aspects did you like? How did you feel about commentary? How did you feel about the matches? Who was your favorite overall performer. How'd you feel about the chair shot to the head by Cody? Just give me your thoughts about it. I'm pretty sure someone in the comments is going to be angry that I'm actually okay with the unprotected chair shot. They're probably going to tell me that I'm a hypocrite, that something is wrong with me, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just keep telling you straight to your face. Listen, you want an alternative to WWE? This is what it entails. Okay, I'm not saying that every chair shot should be unprotected. I'm saying that the wrestlers, with the freedom that they have, will sometimes do that. And the moment you start outlawing that, is when AEW starts becoming just like WWE, which is what they should not do. It's as simple as that. Again, I hope you guys have a good Saturday night, and I hope you enjoyed my review. This is your boy, Deluxe Man, signing off right here at your boy, Deluxe Man's World. I love you all, and I'll catch you guys next time. I'm out of here. Peace.